All right, cool. So we're just back, people. YouTube, how's it going? We're back with the Chinese OSL Consolation match, which pretty much means that this is for third place prize. I don't know the prize pool for this tournament. I don't know for the original Chinese OSL, but what I can tell you though is that the second Chinese OSL, you get like 150 bucks or something like that for getting third place. According to, I initially thought that the prize pool for like $1,000 for a round of 32 style tournament, I thought that was pretty good. I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I just thought that was like USD wise. I think that's a really awesome prize pool. But according to my other co-host on Ika Blitz, well, there we go. Max L 720. So apparently $1,000 is not that much. I thought it was a decent amount compared to other tournaments for Brood War that we have, other than like the Winter Olympic one that we have going. But you know what, the Winterland that's like 18 grand, which is absolutely ridiculous and seems impossible to have that much money. But hey, if that exists, then I'm happy. But I'm just thinking about like the other round of 32 tournaments. I mean, for foreign Brood War, for example, right? We have, a decent, maybe around 10 tournaments going on and off. And we have, group stage, we have like a ladder stage, then group stages, and then it goes into the round of 32. And we get like 250 bucks as the total prize pool, and you compare it to like $1,000, that's 4 times the amount that you have. So, who knows? Anyway, spawning in the top left as the yellow Zerg, it will be ZDY or Ziddy, depending on how you want to pronounce his name. I'm always confusing them. And spawning on the bottom right, it will be Johnhoon as the red Protoss, who's having a little bit of difficulty recently. Despite him being a level 19, the number games is not going in his favor, and the map will be circuit breakers cross positions here. Now, these positions definitely do not help out Ziddy right now, because of the fact anywhere he takes that far off third base is going to make it a lot easier for Johnhoon to pressure, which might be a reason why he hasn't done so well in the past. I mean, a lot of the time his front door has been completely busted down, and some other things have happened as well. Ling bust happened, and then he got Hydra busted. Things have just not gone super well for Johnhoon recently. And also, to answer Max L 720's question, he asked, how much do you want to bet Protoss will lose? I'm not betting anything. If I was to bet, I would bet nothing against Johnhoon would lose. I'm a Johnhoon fan. I do not care if he loses. Well, I will support him if he loses, even if he loses. I'm a devoted fan of Johnhoon now. Same thing as Fungza. Pretty much any Chinese player in general, I'm a pretty big fan of. But this is like Johnhoon's wall, apparently. He does like Pylon Forge Gate, which I guess the Forge and Gate makes sense on this map. The last map didn't make much sense. His wall was completely just not Ling-proofed at all. This time, it'll be a little bit better. Again, I don't really know why he doesn't opt to go for a tighter wall. I mean, I don't know why he uses the pylon as part of the wall. Guess it might just be a Chinese scene thing. He's a level 19. Is he gonna can rush? Wow, okay. Johnhoon coming back for the cheese right here. Something that I never expect to see in the CSOL. And he's actually getting drones behind the mineral line because Ziddy's really awesome at doing that. But he's gonna go Forge Nexus. He did get the cancel on both pylons, so he did get 150 back from the 200 he spent, I believe. So yeah, that's pretty much the reason why. I don't understand why he didn't go. Oh well, actually, and then Ziddy went a 12 hat. So both players aren't really doing characteristic moves from themselves, but standard nonetheless. It just means Ziddy won't be as active on the map, and which will allow Johnhoon to have a little bit easier time. Now, I'm wondering though, even if Johnhoon successfully got off a cannon behind those mineral patches, let's just say he even did that. If we saw you know, ZD go for his traditional overpool or 9 pool, you know, what would John Hoon have back at home? Would he just die outright? Which I'm wondering what actually led to that idea, because in his eyes, this is game 3, guys. This is in order. This is in 100% order of what we've been given. So he must know. He knows that he died last game due to an improper wall right here. These lings are coming across the map. Thankfully, it is cross position for John Hoon's sake right here, and he does have a cannon up. He does have a good amount of probes that he can hopefully block off right here. And is this just mind games, or does he just know, or did he already know that those lings were already on the way? But again, the bottom part of the wall is not tight. And that Zealot, this is why I love John Hoon. Like, all of the round of 8, man, this guy, like, got units out at, like, the perfect time. And that was another clear example of how awesome John Hoon is. Just saying, just simply stating that John Hoon is amazing. He's a god, but apparently also so is ZD and everyone else that's still in the C-OSL right now, i.e. Fungza and whatever the other opponent is. Is it reinforced? Well, that's an interesting point that Maxwell said. Gods don't die. Does surrender count as counting as dying though? And one thing though, I would say that Chinese players are at least, I'm gonna make it general here, but what ZD has shown us is how Zergs can kind of dominate Protoss by really just denying their scouting. Like, get these lings out on the map and just stop those probes from really doing anything, because that's pretty much how John Hoon's really been going about doing this all of his scouting information, is getting that probe in there. And even if he gets the probe in there, it's so heavily delayed that it gives John Hoon less reaction time to deal with whatever kind of tech that ZD is really going for. And I think right now ZD has complete control over this series. I mean, he's kind of dictating what tech he goes, and then it's kind of up to John Hoon to react, counter, pressure after that. And so we have an early Templar Archives. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. He will be implanting blue warts onto the Overlord right here. And it looks like he will eventually have such a big wart that he'll fall to the ground and die. You know, I would not want to be an Overlord at all in Brood War, at least for like the first 10 minutes, because like your life expectancy is like way lower than during any other time in a Brood War game in Protoss versus Zerg. Because I mean, I think like 90% of the time, the first Corsair, unless it's super delayed, like a normal like 6-minute Corsair by like a 2 base. Or even a 1 base, it will even come out earlier. Corsair build, like 2 base or whatever. It will at least get like rack up at least 1 Overlord kill, unless like the other opponent has like super good like control over his Overlord, his slow Overlord. But I'm liking John Hoon's position a lot more than he initially was. Partially because, well, one, ZD I don't think has a third gas. I think he took a mineral only, which may dictate a Hydra bust. We have DTs out now, but not only that, he will have Templar. He has Templar tech done. He can have Storm available. This 3-hatch Hydra build that apparently ZD is going for, that apparently I just kind of have to read off of what I'm seeing off the mini-map right here. I think he'll be able to hold. He has a good amount of Zealots, and not only this, though, he has a good amount of Corsair that he never had initially. Now, the couple Scourge that may initially, pose a threat really won't do as much now, because there's 3 instead of like 1 or 2 Corsair alone. So this will definitely help him out. And not only that, though, it also forces back the Hydralisks to help defend the Overlords, or else this happens where Overlords start dying very quickly, and just not a good position that you really want to be as a Zerg player. And DTs are actually getting in, so he's going Corsair DT. Now, this is something that a lot of Chinese Protosses like to do, especially John Hoon. just something that he's really like to go, at least in the early game. You know, of course, you eventually get the, the same, like, central unit composition. You're not going to stay with Corsair DT for the duration of the game, because eventually it gets just countered off. But, or it's just not good enough. I guess I don't really know what the super hard counter for Zerg for Corsair DT is. I guess just kill off the Corsair, and then the DTs are easy to rack up. But, I mean, the DT's in the main base right now. I mean, he stopped mining at, what, the natural and the main base right now? If not, at least the main base. Okay, so the natural started to mine, but that's way over saturation, so that's way he's not optimally mining right here. DTs, and now this is something that John Hoon is really going to help him out. Once you are attacking from multiple fronts in this series, it just gives you, leads of advantage here, because both these players, I mean, any player gotten to this point has very high multitasking ability here. And not only that multitasking ability, it's not like they're microing so hard they're not macroing back at home. They do everything. So getting that alone right here, if you're able to attack from two fronts, now all of a sudden ZD's like, what do I do to really compensate for this? He's messing up while John Hoon's dictating what he's doing. He's not really under pressure right here. He's just going through his mood. And I mean, he's even racking up, free Hydralisk kills right here, and he's probably building up a very safe army back at home base, or just take a third base right now. So John is in a very good position right here. However, though, ZD has a very nice position with his Hydras, though. I'm not going to call ZD out. I'm just saying I think John Hoon from that double DT harass is just giving him such a lead right now, and I just don't think John Hoon's really going to let it up. And at least it's nice to see at least one game that John Hoon's doing very well for himself right here. But he's just pulling out Zelch right now. He does not care. Which totally, I mean, unless the Hydras get back into like really nice crevice, like behind the mineral line, where only like one Zealot can get to him, Zealots are or Speedlots really are very good against Hydralisks. I mean, of course, when they're by themselves, but yeah. And according to Maxwell, Zerg got a little too greedy. Do I agree with that? I think, yeah, partially. I mean, he did follow it up with 2 more hatcheries, and he did drone a lot. I believe. I think I saw a lot of droning after like the 3-hatch Hydra failed, and I'm not sure if he was expecting John Hoon to be such an counter aggression right there. He is High Templar right now, so he's either going to get A, Archon, or B, Storm. Either or, just worlds are hurt against Hydralisks. And looks like the pressure has stopped. I think the third base is taking some damage from DTs or something. The third base is going down for John Hoon right now. And I totally forgot to get my water bottle. It's okay. I got some water. Oh, these High Templar, though, might get sniped. A little misrally right there. Oh, that had enough for 1 Storm, actually. And I mean, it's a nice concave. Definitely for ZD right here. But once they start clumping up, though, that's exactly when John Hoon wanted to Storm, and that was the perfect time. I mean, he literally baited Zerg to do that, and that's really awesome. All right. So he's going to go take off the third base right here. I don't think he'll be successful. I think he's going to kill off the shields at most, and then these Hydras are going to die. Especially if a Storm gets in there. Nice Storm dodge, though. Very nice Storm dodge. I'm not sure if it was intentional, but nice Storm dodge nonetheless. Now, unless something happened in the past, like, 2 seconds, and I didn't see it, I apologize. That's partially because my monitor just froze, or went on standby mode. But I don't think anything happened in the past 2 seconds. Because it's awesome. And also to note that generally speaking, Zergs will have a 4th base by now. But as you can see, there's only 3 bases. Not only that, Zerg only has 2 gases. Not only that, it goes back to, like I said before, Zerg is going to have a more difficult time on this map because ZD can't really take a safe, far-off 3rd base on this map due to the positionings. It just doesn't help his cause. He can, of course, try to, and I've seen it happen before, but I think if someone of John Hoon's caliber will completely take advantage of that and just start pressuring it way too fast before any kind of really tight SimCity comes up. Now, with a high amount of Dragoons, there is a tech switch to Lings. Of course, that's just standard matchup of like Zealot. I mean, the Zergling beats Goon, so he has a lot of Goons, so I go a lot of Lings. That's kind of the whole reason for a lot of lings right now. Now, also, I think it's also kind of important to say that ZDY and every other Chinese Zerg really likes to delay their Hive Tech for as long as possible. So I don't think we're even going to see Hive Tech to follow this up with. Not to say that he would even have the gassing him to support Hive Tech. Just saying, though, I don't think he's going to have Defiler Tech out at all. Which is... With this unit comp isn't super important right now. Because he does have Ultras to, like, Plague and stuff. Plague's obviously very... It helps out a lot. I just don't think it's really going to matter. I don't think he has enough Hydras to really... to take Storm and then, you know, follow it up with even more Hydras. He just doesn't have the economy to do it, and it looks like John is just going to come in here for the killing blow. Now, if ZDY can get, like, a surround or something like that on the bridges, or actually John Hoon is actually making great work of the bridges. I was going to say, if ZDY made, like, an arc of Hydras, or doing this, which is getting a flank, but it doesn't even matter. The Storms are really, really awesome. And stuff like that. And I was gonna say, you could get up like a nice arc on those bridges, and then make it very difficult. But there's the GG by ZDY, and so it'll be 1-2 now. So GG for John Hoon and ZDY right here. So congratulations to John Hoon. Ha! They didn't get an all kill. Also to note, Zyphone StarCraft said, because Hive Tech equals Defiler, it equals very timing based, relies on lag, because China server equals lag, therefore it's not used as much. Actually, Chinese server doesn't have lag as much. The reason why I say that is because Fengzi refuses and John Hoon refuse to play in Gambit Cup because of lag issues, yet they play in C-OSL. So actually that doesn't really make sense, because why would... there wouldn't be as much lag. So yeah, so I don't agree with that. But nonetheless, guys, people on YouTube, we'll be back momentarily for game number 5.